All right, welcome to another edition of the Tweet Show podcast. I am recording this about 40-ish minutes after the Warriors and Mavericks game. There isn't a whole lot to talk about, so I'll make this short and sweet. So the Mavericks ended up losing tonight to the Golden State Warriors, 112 to 87. And I guess some of my initial thoughts are that it's just one game, and obviously, we can just disavow that the Dallas Mavericks were probably going to win this game at all because they had an emotional game seven. They just played like literally on Sunday, and then they had to play today on Tuesday, so it was going to be a quick turnaround regardless. So they put all their like they were all in on game seven because like their season was on the line. Excuse me, their season was on the line, and they had to like kind of like stay on the road from Phoenix to San Francisco in a span of like 48 hours. So they didn't really have like much more prepare than probably Golden State was because they had probably had like a 4 to 5 day offs between games. So between their last game and this game, so they had more rest, obviously, and it kind of showed, I thought, in this game. Like in the first half, like I thought Dallas was hanging in there for a bit. I was like thinking to myself, and I kind of tweeted this out too. That I was like, oh, if Warriors, if you let Dallas hanging around a bit, they might come back and win. But obviously that didn't happen. That wasn't the case. But either way, in my thoughts in my head, I was like, well, if Dallas can stay within the 10-6 range heading into maybe that fourth quarter, they'll be like, all right, we have a chance of winning this, and we just stay in the hunt. We just got to stay within 6 points and maybe take the lead at some point. This is what I'm saying. So it is what it is for the Mavericks. You just got to probably watch the film and then flush it down the toilet. So, and I guess like I thought their main three key players all played pretty decently. Local didn't have like his monster game. He had a solid game. Like he didn't have a monster game. But he had a solid game though. He had 20 points though. So I mean, I think did he end up with 20 or what did he end up with? 20 points. So in the second half, he only made because he had 18 the first half, and then the second half he only had 2 points. So yeah, Luka. I mean, and give credit to the Warriors a bit because like they basically threw him a lot of bodies at him. They threw Wiggins and Draymond and even Clay, or just even mainly Wiggins was probably his main defender. But I just thought that Wiggins did a pretty good job of containing Luka. That's your job basically. It's just contain him. That's the best you can do. So it's like I don't expect Luka to have another horrible second half in the rest of this series. I still expect him to have like the monster game, like the 35 points or 30 something and a win. So it's like, and Jalen he didn't have like the best of games. He was 6 of 16. He was over 5 from 3. He kind of started slow in the first half, but then he kind of picked it up towards the second half. Obviously, Spencer didn't when he did it. He had a solid game. Like the thing is with Dallas, like they shot a bunch of threes. They just didn't make them. Like they were only 14 to 21, which is good if you make 14. No wait, is that no way? Sorry, they were actually they were because I didn't make sense at all in my head when I first said it. I was like, wait, that can't be right. So they were 11 of 48 from three, which ends up being 22% from the field or from the 3-point line. If you make, they typically make about 15 and they only made 11 and they took 48 of them. I mean, the temps are still going to be the same, but they got to at least make at least 15 if they're going to, want to win this series, I think. And I mean, Jalen's got to play better. And then, Paulo, is it Paulo or no? Who's the other? Oh, his backup though. His backup's got to play. There are some key players on the bench that just got to step up and make a couple of good shots. Like, uh, gosh, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Finley Smith, something like that. Smith has got to play just a slight bit better. He's got to make a couple more shots. He can only, I mean, he took six, but he was 1 of 3. So I mean, Reggie Bullocks was 3 of 10. So I mean, they, you know what I mean. So it's like you just got to make more shots from behind the arc. So and those will come eventually. They'll start clicking with those, and I just feel like they just got to clean up a bit on the defensive end because I felt like that. Golden State has a very unique offense where they just cut, move, and swing the ball as fast as they can. It's that way the defense is having to like move a lot, all that. So it's going to be very tough for a team to recover from their assignment, saying, "Hey, the ball's over here now. You got to switch, or you got to rotate, and all that other stuff." So it's interesting to, it's really interesting how the Mavericks are going to figure out their defense because I thought they had some like interesting looks to give the Golden State Warriors, which I thought some of them worked, but like not all of it. So it's gonna be, these got to clean up a bit on the defensive end, but like offensively, Luca's just gotta have to like really just gonna have to step up and just gonna have to make more plays for his teammates and all that other stuff. So plus he's got a weird thing with his shoulder. If anybody noticed, well, I'm sure everybody noticed it because they showed it on the broadcast. But like he's touching his right shoulder a bit. So I don't know if that affected him or not. And he's a tough guy, so I'm sure he'll come through with it. He'll just be like, yeah, it's fine. I'll be fine. It's okay. So I'm expecting Dallas to come back into game 2 with a better like mindset and have a better game and not get blown out because like I I I'm not shocked that they got blown out in the first game because like I said they just got back from the blowing out the Suns in game 7 and obviously they had more emotions and more things on in game 7 and they had a 48-hour spans of playing a game besides the Warriors who had like a 4 to 5 day rest. So you just gotta like, if you're a Mavericks player or a fan, you just gotta, like I said, you just gotta watch the film and flush it down the toilet. You just gotta forget this one even happened. You just gotta you gotta steal a game of the Warriors. That's for sure. You gotta steal a game of the Warriors. And then okay, so on the Warriors side of things, like the Wiggins and Kevin Looney had a great first half. Kevin had like, or yeah, no, not Kevin. Andrew had 15 the first half, and then Kevon Looney, he had a solid. What was he at? I tweeted it out. Hold on. Okay, give me a second here. Oh gosh, I just had it. Gosh dang it. Having to go through my tweets. Okay, here we go. He was in the first half he had 8 points, but like I felt like he was effective on the defensive end a bit. And like obviously he had 5 rebounds and Wiggins had 15 points, 6 of 9 from the field and 3 of 5 from the field the first half. And then obviously he finished the game with 19. So he was 8 of 17 from 3 of 8. So obviously he didn't make any more in the second half. But either way, I thought Wiggins did an excellent job of, like I said, guarding with Luka, just being more aggressive on offense and all that stuff. And obviously Draymond doing his thing, being effective, like, as a facilitator, as a free safety and quarterback of the defense, saying, hey, this, that, that. And I thought, like, what the weird part is about this game? Like, because Steph Clay didn't have like their best like game shooting wise, even though they both made 7. They basically shot the exact same amount, but Clay was 1 of 4. Steph was 3 of 9, but it was kind of interesting because I was like, Clay didn't really start playing well towards the second half because he had a really awful first half, but he started playing better in the second half of the game. So we'll see how Clay does, but I thought he did a pretty good job of also being a defender, even though, because you think about it, because sometimes people talk about how he's like, oh, he had those bunch of those leg injuries, and people talk about, oh, he's going to lose a step here because he was such a elite defender when he didn't have those injuries. So it's like, oh, you're probably going to lose a step if you have those, and he's probably like thinking to himself, no, I'm still this guy. I can do still at a high level. So it's interesting to see how Clay and Steph do in game 2 if they're gonna, because like in the last game, like in game 6, game 6 they had a pretty solid shooting night, but like the other times before game 6 in that Memphis series, they didn't shoot the ball very well. So I feel like Clay is like It's I'm not saying that he's no, hold on. How do I want to word this with Clay? Because like prior to Game 6, obviously that boosted up his numbers a bit. But like if you took Game 6 out of it, it's like Clay, you haven't really shot the ball that well, and like maybe it's maybe he's more focused on having his assignment due on defense a bit. Is using a bunch of that energy on defense. Maybe that it's it. I don't know, but it's just I thought, and maybe he's still getting his legs under himself, or maybe not legs, but like he's just I don't know. Maybe he's just still trying to find his rhythm a bit because like he came back in what I think March or no, when did he come back? He came back like in February or March. I felt like, but either way, I just felt like playoffs are a different setting a bit, and sometimes you go through some slumps, and sometimes you just keep elevating your shooting and all that other stuff. But it's interesting. So it's like we'll see how the Splash Brothers do. But the other Splash brother, Jordan Poole, had a pretty good, decent night. He was 8 of 12. He was like I said, the Warriors actually didn't shoot the ball like from behind the arc great that either. They were 10 of 29, but Jordan Poole, he was still pretty effective. He had 19 points, and he had the 3 assists. And everybody like the Warriors are still really good at just swinging the ball around and making your defense move and all the other stuff. And Otto Porter had a solid game. He had 10 points. It's just that I I said this in the other episode. Make sure you go listen to that. It's in part of the Heat in Boston one. So I just did it like a short prediction and preview of it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I picked the Warriors to win this series, in like in 6 games, probably at most. But like it's if this continues to happen, and obviously this is just a small sample size because it's game one, so you gotta like think a bit about what what to expect more from this series and all that other stuff. But yeah, it's just there isn't really much to talk about because, like I said, it's a small sample size. It's just one game, and there's going to be some adjustments by both coaches, by Steve Kerr and Jason Kidd. About to say Jason Tatum, Jason Kidd. So it's going to be interesting how they both adjust and how they make sure their teams are going to succeed. If Steve Kerr is going to stay with the same philosophy, if Jason Kidd's going to make some adjustments on the defensive end, or if he's going to like try and make sure to get some matchups suited for Luka or even like Jalen Brunson or Spencer Dinwiddie. He's going to try and find matchups maybe in the Warriors defensive lineups a bit. So it's interesting to see how Jason Kidd's going to make some adjustments because I know he's a floor general. He's one of the better point guards that played in the NBA. He's a pretty solid head coach. So it's going to be interesting to see what he sees in the film. He's like, all right, we can do this. If we do this, we're going to attack this guy. We're going to attack. If we do this, we're going to rotate and then we're going to swing it out here, just stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jason Kidd does that with the Mavericks. Like I said, I think this series is still going to at least go 6 games for sure. They're going to head back to the San Francisco and probably play Game 6, and then or no wait, would Game 6 be no? Game 6 would actually be in Dallas. Now that I think about it, it's like wait, yep, Game 6 would be in Dallas. I was like wait, the Warriors are a higher seed, so never mind. Like I said, it's just gonna be a fun series. I definitely think it's gonna be a fun series to watch for. There isn't gonna be like I don't think this could be like one of 3 blowouts because there's probably gonna be another blowout because I bet you that Dallas is probably gonna blow out the Warriors at their place. So it's gonna be like I said, like Luka's just gonna have to like find his rhythm a bit and make sure he's doesn't have any problems with his right shoulder because if that's gonna be a problem, then Dallas probably don't win this series. But like I said, it's gonna be a fun series. So I think that's really all I got for this game for game one at least. It's so yeah, like I said, it's gonna be no, never mind. I'm not gonna repeat myself because I'm gonna repeat myself again. I gotta stop sometimes repeating myself. Um so yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this edition of the pod here. So make sure you go subscribe to the pod. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because it's also gonna be on YouTube. You can watch me talk about this as you're watching it. Like, obviously, if you're listening to this in the pod, you could probably pause the episode and then go watch it on YouTube. So, I'm just trying to like explore it, just trying to expand the pod here, trying to do as much as I can with it. Like I said, subscribe to the pod on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods, and then follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like I said, I promised to some people, like to you guys, that I'm going to make some more content with the YouTube channel. I just got to get more things to think of, and there'll be some more videos. Just give me some time here, and I promise you, like I said, there's going to be like obviously this stuff, so it'll be video pods will be out when I make a episode like this too. So like I said, you just gotta enjoy the ride. So with that being said, I appreciate you listening. I'll see you guys next time.